Dimly lit second-floor apartment hallway inside an old building in Pennsylvania. Ibra. This happened in a small town in northern Pennsylvania back in 2018. A girl named Emily had just moved into her first apartment, a small one-bedroom place on the second floor of an old building that used to be a dentist's office decades ago. Young woman in bed at 3 a.m., staring at a half-open bedroom door. Darkness beyond Avery. At first, everything seemed normal. But from the first night, she noticed something weird. The door to her bedroom would creak open slightly around 3 a.m. every single night. Pale hand gripping the edge of a half-open door in a dark bedroom Abra one night. She decided to record it on her phone. When she played the recording the next morning, her stomach dropped. You could clearly hear a man's whisper saying something like, "You're still awake, aren't you?" Emily panicked and called her landlord. He swore no one else lived in that unit and that all locks were changed before she moved in. She felt uneasy. A week later, she was in bed, half asleep, when she heard the doorknob turn, slowly. Abra, she froze. The door opened halfway, and she saw a pale hand gripping the wood. Police flashlight illuminating a small crawlspace hole behind drywall e-brake. Emily screamed and ran out the front door into the hallway. When police arrived minutes later, they found no one inside. But behind the bedroom door, hidden in the drywall, was a small square hole. Avery, it led to a narrow maintenance crawlspace between the walls, and inside that crawlspace, they found a sleeping bag, some food wrappers, and an old phone charger. Someone had been living inside her walls. Empty apartment hallway, door slightly ajar, faint light leaking from inside. Lonely roadside diner in Kansas at 3 a.m. Neon sign flickering in the snow, Avery. I used to work night shifts at a diner off a quiet highway in Kansas. We'd get truckers, travelers, and sometimes people who just wanted coffee at 3 a.m. It was a lonely job, but I didn't mind, until one night. Inside a diner lit by yellow fluorescent lights, tall man in gray hoodie sits silently. It was late December. Snow outside, radio playing softly, and not a single car in sight. Around 2:30, a man walked in, tall, wearing a soaked gray hoodie. He didn't say a word. He sat in the back booth and stared out the window. I asked if he wanted coffee. Avery, he nodded but never looked at me. Close-up of hooded man shaking hands on a coffee cup. Dark stains visible. Avery. When I brought the cup, I noticed. Hands were shaking. And covered in something dark. I thought it was grease, maybe oil. He finally spoke. Hebrew. His voice was calm. Too calm. He said, "Do you ever see things in the woods behind here?" I said no, trying to laugh it off. He smiled a little and said, "You will." Then he got up and walked out without paying. Worker outside diner looking at untouched snow. No footprints anywhere. Abre. I went outside to watch where he was going. There were no footprints in the snow. None. The next day, a local cop stopped by and asked if I'd seen anyone strange overnight. Apparently, a man had gone missing near that same stretch of road 3 days earlier. Police officer showing a missing person photo of the same man, empty diner booth in background. Abra. When the officer showed me a picture of the missing man, it was him. Abra, the same gray hoodie, the same face. He'd already been dead when I saw him. Cozy suburban Ohio house at night. One upstairs window glowing softly. Abrahia. A couple named Ryan and Claire had their first child in 2021. They bought a new house in the suburbs of Ohio. Quiet neighborhood. Everything seemed perfect. Baby monitor on nightstand showing static, faint red light glowing. Ibra. One night, Ryan woke up to hear the baby monitor crackling. He assumed it was interference, but then a voice came through, low and distorted. Abra said, "She's awake now." Sebrine, Ryan froze. The baby wasn't crying. He ran to the nursery and found the crib empty. Man at top of basement staircase, holding baby monitor. Dim basement light flickering. Abra, he shouted for Claire, who came running, terrified. They searched the house. Nothing. Then suddenly they heard a soft giggle coming from the monitor again. Ryan followed the sound to the basement door. It was slightly open. When he went down, the light bulb flickered on by itself. In the middle of the floor was the baby, lying on an old sheet, perfectly unharmed. Attic filled with dust and boxes. Man kneeling beside an old unplugged baby monitor. More police came but found no signs of entry. Weeks later, while Ryan was cleaning out the attic, he found something strange. An old baby monitor identical to theirs, dusty and unplugged. Baby monitor screen glowing in the dark, static showing faint shadow of a child. When he brought it downstairs, their new monitor started picking up static again. Only this time, the voice said, "She likes the attic better."